dear students, welcome to MAPEH 8. My name is Sir Ibanez and I'm here to help you learn something about the music of East Asia. These are some guides that will help you to succeed in my class. 1. Read your modules. It contains everything you need to know about the lesson. 2. Ask for help if you need it. Don't be afraid to contact me if you have questions. And number 3, support each other. Be kind and patient so we can all succeed in the duration of this class. I hope you have fun while learning. In my back is the map of East Asia. You will find there's China, Korea, and Japan. And that will be our main focus. We will learn about their culture, music, tradition, and so on. Our topic will be Music Grade A. This is the music of East Asia, Japan, China, and Korea. Module 2, Week 1, Module 1. What do you need to know? First, the music of East Asia, particularly Japan, China, and the Korea, are amongst the oldest artistic traditions in the world. It is generally based on pentatonic scale, in which 5 notes create an octave. Most East Asian music contain these traits. In this module, you will learn the following. 1. The prominent features of the vocal and instrument music of East Asian countries, namely Japan, China, and Korea. How its music reflects the different aspects of East Asian culture through its timbre, rhythm, melody, dynamics, and form. And number 3, the different cultural and musical practices of Japan, China, and Korea as expressed through their feelings towards each other, the environment, their history, and culture. Before we formally begin our lesson, let us find out if you know something about East Asian countries. Up next are few activities that will assess what you know, what you can do, and what else you need to learn to achieve your targets for this module. After going through this module, you are expected to identify the similarities and differences of the music of East Asia. Number 2. Listen perceptibly to the music of East Asia using the given links that give examples of traditional instruments and vocal music of Japan, China, and Korea. And number 3. Describe how music of East Asia relates to its culture. In what I know you guys know, these are the directions for your activity. From the pictures of costumes, folk symbols, artworks, scenery, and other aspects of culture of the East Asian countries, which is Japan, China, and Korea, identify the origin of the objects. Choose among the 3 countries of origin. Write your answer in your activity notebook. Number 1. Which country does this symbol belong? Number 2. Where is this flower came from? Number 3. What a beautiful vase. What country does it belong? And number 4. Yo, that's a cool instrument. Where can you find this kind of instrument? Okay? Okay. So we will listen to a certain music, and after that, you will answer the questions that I will give you. Okay? Let's start. Let's listen to the music. Okay, let us answer some questions about the music that you have heard. Number 1. What is the mood of the music? Write your answers on your activity notebook. Number 2. What have you felt while listening to the music? And number 3. Do you know which country it was from? Now let us talk about the Japanese music. Through this lesson, you will discover the traditional music of Japan by their vocal and instrumental music. Japanese vocal music is quite different from the Western vocal music and is based on the intervals of human breathing rather than mathematical timing, and how Japanese musicians show their spiritual self-mastery in mastering his or her instrument more than simply perfecting a technique of some sort, and how they give value to their performance and composure. The vocal music of Japan. The main tone of Japanese music has two modes, the yosen and the insen. Both consist of 5 primary tones based on a scale with 7 tones. Yosen, a male scale. It is used specifically in folk songs and early popular songs. It is described as bright sounding. Insen, a female scale. It contains minor notes. It is used specifically in koto and shamisen, and is contrasted with yosen scale, which has no minor notes. According to a traditional theory, yosen is a pentatonic scale which is used in Japanese music, including gagaku and shomyo. There are types of music in Japan. Number 1, kagura. This is the god music, the music of Shinto. Shomyo, a classic Buddhist chanting. Hogaku, authentic Japanese music. Gagaku, the oldest surviving Japanese court music. Nagauta, long song, vocal dance, and dramatic composition. Kouta, small song, folk song. It is mainly an a cappella. An example of a Japanese folk song is Sakura, or cherry blossoms. Sakura, or cherry blossoms, is a traditional Japanese folk song depicting spring, the season of cherry blossoms. Let us now listen to Sakura, the traditional folk music of Japan.
Okay.
Now let us move on to the instrumental music of Japan. We first learn about the percussion instruments, which are what we call the membranphone, odaiko, a big drum. The physical energy and sheer excitement of an odaiko is an integral part of many Japanese matsuri festivals. This is an example of odaiko. Next is chuzumi, hourglass shape. It's a hand drum of Japanese origin. It consists of a wooden body shaped like an hourglass, and it is stout, with two drum heads and cords that can be squeezed or released to increase or decrease the tension of the heads respectively. This is an example of chuzumi. Now we go to the string instruments, or what we call the chordophones. Koto is also called kin, long Japanese board zither having 13 silk strings and movable bridges. The body of the instrument is made of paulownia wood and is about 190 centimeters or 74 inches long. And this is an example of koto. Next, we have biwa. It's a short-necked fretted lute from Japan. The music instrument is often used in narrative storytelling. The musical instrument is the chosen musical instrument of Bethel, goddess of music, poetry, and education in Shinto. Now this is biwa. Now we go to the wind instrument, or what we call the aerophone. Shakuhachi is the most famous flute made of bamboo. It has 4 or 5 finger holes on the front face and a thumb hole on the rear face. As with other instruments above, it was imported from China for gagaku. This is shakuhachi. Another one, sho, is a Japanese free reed musical instrument that was introduced from China during the Nira period. It is descended from the Chinese sheng of the Tang Dynasty era. Although the sho tends to be smaller in size than its contemporary sheng relatives. Now we go to Chinese music. For several thousand years, Chinese culture was dominated by the teachings of the philosopher Confucius. He conceived music in the highest sense as a means of calming the passion of dispelling of unrest and lust. Rather than as a form of amusement, Chinese music has traditionally been sung in a thin, non-resonant voice or in falsetto. All traditional Chinese music is melodic rather than harmonic.
The vocal music of China. Mo Li Hua is a traditional Chinese song with a beautifully gentle and lyrical melody. The lyrics about the jasmine flower also turned it into a love song. The song describes a custom of giving jasmine flowers, popular in the southern Yangtze Delta region of China. Another version describes the fear of plucking the flower. After singing Sakura, let us listen to a traditional Chinese song, Mo Li Hua. Watch and listen to Mo Li Hua.
好一段。
That was refreshing.
Chinese musical instruments. Let's go to string instruments. Yekin, a moon-shaped lute with shorter neck and 4 strings, played with a spectrum, used for accompanying local operas. This is yekin. Another type of string instrument is the pipa, 4-string lute with 30 frets and a pear-shaped body. This instrument has an extremely wide dynamic range and remarkable expressive power. This is an example of pipa. Next, eru, 2-string fiddle and one of the most popular Chinese instruments, and it is used as a solo instrument, as well as in small ensembles or large orchestra and by various ethnic groups. This is an example of eru.
Now let us move on to Korean music. Korea's folk music tradition, with its generous use of bright rhythms and melodies, offers a more energetic and capricious contrast to the nation's collection of classical music works. Folk music represents the soul and sound of traditional Korean villages, with an eclectic array of music forms, including numerous folk songs, various forms of instrumental pieces, pansori, and shaman ritual music. Korean music has a slow tempo, giving it a very peaceful and pensive character. The vocal music of Korea. Traditional Korean music is broad and deep in terms of genre and meaning. There is farmers' music, which expresses the lives of farmers through its exciting rhythms. Pansori, long vocal and percussive music played by vocal singers and skilled drummers. Talchum, mask dance. It is rich in parody and humor. The majestic court music played on important events at the Royal Palace and a standard music called Jeong-ak in Korean, like Gagok, Yeong-sang Hyo-sang, and Sijo, that embodied elegant refined spirit of Seonbi, or intellectuals of the Joseon dynasty. Arirang is a Korean folk song, sometimes considered the unofficial national anthem of Korea. It is used as a symbol of Korea and Korean culture. Arirang is in essence a song of farewell. Let us listen on Korean's famous song, Arirang.
아리랑 거게로
That is beautiful. Let us move on to the instrumental music of Korea. Traditional Korean instruments can be broadly divided into three groups. 1. The string instruments. 2. The wind instruments. And 3. The percussion instruments. Let us go in the string instruments. Kayagum is a traditional Korean zither-like string instrument with 12 strings, although more recently variants have been constructed with 21 or more numbers of strings. It is probably the best known traditional Korean musical instrument. Kayagum. Next, Gyeomungo, 6-string plucked zither, is a traditional Korean string musical instrument of the zither family of instruments with both bridges and frets. Gyeomungo. The percussion instrument. Jango is the most widely used drum used in the traditional music of Korea. It is available in most kinds and consists of an hourglass-shaped body with two heads made from animal skin. Jango. The wind instrument. Piri, used in both the folk and classical court music of Korea. It is made of bamboo. Piri. The similarities of music in East Asian countries are their transparency to the preference in music sound ideals. No matter how large an ensemble may be, the individual instruments are meant to be heard. And word orientation to the fact that until the 20th century, there was a little abstract instrumental music, such as sonata or a concerto in East Asia. Now, that ends our topic. Let us go on with your activity. What's more, directions. Identify the similarities and differences in terms of vocal and instrumental characteristics of the music of Japan, China, and Korea. Copy and answer the figure below in your activity notebook. Follow what is asked in the diagram. Write your answers on your activity notebook. Japan, China, and Korea. Their difference and their similarities. Next activity. What I have learned. I have learned that write your answer in your activity notebook. Your next activity. What can you do? Express yourself. On an Oslo paper, draw a creative illustration that describes how music of East Asia relates to its culture. You may use any coloring materials that best suits your artwork. Here are scoring criteria. Thank you for listening, guys, and I hope you enjoyed our lesson for this day. Have a nice day and goodbye. See you soon!